Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Wanted to share with you some new news on the government shutdown coming to an end and some exciting news for veterans and Veterans Affairs. I wanted to share this with you here today, and there's actually a video that I'm going to share with the Secretary, Doug Collins, speaking on the topic as well. Before we jump into it, I do want to throw on a very special thank you to T Sterling 009. I love it, 009. Hey, thank you so much for that super comment, super chat. I really, really do appreciate your support very much. And with that, let's go ahead and pull up this video here. We'll jump into it and then we'll talk about it a little bit and go from there. So with that, thanks again for watching. I appreciate it very much. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and let's get rolling on this.
Today marks 250 years of the U.S. Marine Corps. Before we honor all our brave American heroes tomorrow for Veterans Day. This all coming, of course, as the Senate passes a new bill for veterans in a bid to help end the shutdown. Political writing, the bipartisan fiscal 2026 military construction and Veterans Affairs funding bill is one of 3 full-year spending measures. The bill allocates $153 billion in discretionary funding for the VA and the defense programs and another $263 billion in mandatory funding for veterans benefits. Combined total would put the annual VA budget on the precipice of a first ever $400 billion plus mark. Joining me now is Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins. Doug, that sounds like a great number, but is it enough to offset the damage done by this shutdown?
Well, it's a good number, and it's good if we can continue this to get it open, Todd. I think the biggest thing right now is let us open the whole VA. Right now, we've had our hospitals, our clinics, and all have been working just as normal. That is the one good thing about advanced appropriations, that we can make sure that all the medical needs that our veterans have are there. But we suffered a big blow and still are suffering a big blow when it comes to educational benefits, outreach, vocational rehab, a slowdown in our disability claims and benefits just a little bit because we're just having to deal with so much, folks being off. I have over 30,000 plus that are furloughed, and almost, half of those are still working but not getting paid. So it's just a real concern as we go forward. It's time to get this government back open. I'm glad to see that there was movement between both parties to get it open, but now it's time to make it happen.
The theme of the morning has been, now that we have some light at the end of the tunnel, we're not officially open, but, it does look like the government shutdown is over, at least in theory. How long will it take your agency, the VA, to get up and running once everything's dotted, everything's signed?
We'll be able to go basically the next day. That's the good part, is just getting people back in, turning the computers back on, so to speak, and getting it back going. All of our helplines coming back on, our educational benefits helplines coming back on. So we're going to be able to ready to go pretty quickly. And Todd, do you remember I was a part of the House for 8 years? All I can do is encourage my former House colleagues, get this done. Don't let this continue to drag on, hurting our veterans, hurting our country. It's time to make a deal. It's time to get this done. And, there's time for policy, but then there's also time to look out for the American people, and opening the government and open our veterans here on Veterans Day tomorrow is going to be something we really need to do.
Well, let's start with, I call them the 2 holidays. Let's start with the Marine first. When you think of 250 years of the...
Okay, so I hate to stop it there because, as those of you know, I served in the Marine Corps 93 to 97. All right, so, but real quick, before I forget, because my memory is not as good as it used to be, one of the things that the Secretary indicated was there is a slowdown in claims processing, a little bit of one, he said. Look, the reality is that sure there are, but don't let that distract you. Keep moving forward, run your race when it comes to VA disability compensation. And if you're filing a claim, or thinking about filing a claim, you should absolutely do it and not think about, well, the government shut down, or, they're so backlogged or whatever. Get in line now because there's too many changes that are coming down the pipe here for the rating schedules, and we just don't know what the future holds. So try to take advantage of what you know instead of guessing what might be, right? So we know what we have today. Let's move forward with that. The other piece is, and he didn't really hone in on this, but there is a big backlog now with VRE, Veterans Readiness and Employment, Veterans Readiness and Employment, VRE. And I'll say this, which I've said before, don't hold off on applying, apply. Get in line, so that way you are effectively in line, so that way when they do open back up and start processing those, you didn't lose your place, so to speak, because other people are filing for that stuff as well. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is, if you do not have a solid answer for this question, are you properly rated? And that includes a lot of things. Did you get all of your service-connected conditions service-connected? Did you miss any? Are you properly rated for each one of your conditions that you did get rated for? Should you be increased on any of those? Should you be looking at any secondaries? If your answer is not a clear, yes, I'm super solid, everything is good to go. If your answer is not that, then reach out to us. We're happy to help you. Evidence-based VA claims. We will do a free email consultation, and then we will also guarantee that you will get an increase somewhere if we decide to take you on as a client. We're not going to take you on if we think you're properly rated. That doesn't make any sense. If we see a there, then we'll go ahead and move forward. So with that, let's go ahead and jump back into this. Marine Corps birthday followed by Veterans Day. And you know what? I hope that they get the government open and the VA open back up again here on Veterans Day.
The Marines, what goes through your mind?
Just one of the baddest fighting forces in the world. I started my military career in the Navy, and I got to spend a summer at Camp Pendleton as a chaplain candidate out there. And, they're just some great guys. I mean, when you say Marine, you said it all. I mean, in many ways. And so 250 years, Semper Fi to them. Happy birthday. It's just an amazing fighting force that all the world knows.
And as a veteran yourself, your Veterans Day message in advance of tomorrow to the brave men and women who basically give us everything that we have in this great country.
I just say thank you. Thank you to the men and women I've served with. Thank you for those who are willing to raise their right hand, who say that I believe that our country is worth fighting for. I believe our country is worth leaving my home for. And for those who have served, whether in peacetime or in wartime, you are the thing that has made this country the strongest, the bravest, the most powerful country in the world. Our veterans stand to the core of everything we believe. And it's time to say thank you. And tomorrow is another day for that.
How has your appreciation for our brave men and women in uniform, I don't want to say increased, because obviously you had a high level of it, but has it changed since taking over this important role here as the VA Secretary?
It's changed just in making it more personal, because now I take it as my own. I take it as leading an agency that is designed to help the men and women that I've served with most of my adult life. But it's very personal. When you get to go into hospitals and you sit with World War II veterans and Korea veterans, when you get to go into some of our clinics and you see our Gulf War, our GWAT, Vietnam veterans, and you see the stories, you see their families, it just makes it very personal to me. In fact, it's become something that I long to be with, because they're the ones that we're serving. And it's just good to be around those who are willing to say that even for a short time or a long time, that they put this country first, they put this country in a perspective that we love. And so for me, it's just grown in my affection for what we do, and also an affection for saying we need to make sure for what they have earned, we give them.
And it's incumbent upon the rest of us, the civilians in our great nation, to support them at every turn, whether through charity or other endeavors. VA Secretary Doug Collins, thank you for your service. Thank you for your time.
All right. So I'm going to say this.
Maggie,
This,
I'm Hallie, and I'm
this message from the anchor and from Doug Collins, obviously, but he's the secretary. He should be saying that stuff. But from the anchor, there is such a different viewpoint from what we've been seeing with the Washington Post. So thank you for that. And look, the reality is that here on tomorrow, which is Veterans Day, regardless of the amount of time a veteran has served, whether they served in peace or war, whether they saw combat or did not see combat, it really doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, every single one of us signed the same dotted line, raised our right hand, and swore to protect our country and basically be sent wherever was deemed necessary. So I personally want to thank everybody for their service from one vet to another. It's one of those weird things, right? It's like we don't necessarily need to hear it, but we don't want to hear the opposite of it either, which is the Washington Post garbage. So I love that they mentioned, hey, it's owed to these veterans, and it's owed by the civilians. And to kind of encapsulate what Secretary Collins said, and the anchor, we as a country owe everything we have to veterans. Without veterans, there would be no country. There'd be no elected officials. There would be nothing. So at the end of the day, we sign that dotted line with the blank check, payable up till death, send you wherever we need to be sent, and we get little choice in any of that. And we miss birthdays, we miss anniversaries due to deployments and all that stuff, and maybe even a child's birth, right? Those types of things happen. And we're also, compared to our civilian counterpart, extremely underpaid compared to our civilian counterpart, right? But the difference is that we have a nice benefits package on the backside, provided that you make it home, right? You have this tremendous benefits package that's there. And it takes all of that in order to have the service that we do in a non-draft volunteer force. You need to have a well-rounded experience from time in to benefits after the fact. With that, thanks for watching. I appreciate you very much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.